Scumbag regulator Gary Gensler is not giving up his attack against the crypto industry as he makes a major update in the Binance lawsuit and has his final speech as an SEC chairman today. And Donald Trump announces his White House crypto czar. I'll tell you who it is. And a Nasdaq-listed company is planning to add Bitcoin and XRP as a treasury reserve asset. Let's get into it. Welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button, as well as the thumbs up button, and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, let's talk about Bitcoin because it had a pullback. It was trading above $103,000 earlier this morning. It has since corrected to about $97,773 at the time of recording. So this is healthy. We've seen this before. I wasn't expecting this fast of a pullback, but this is how the market moves. And we have to be mentally prepared for these things because the volatility that swings us very high can also swing us back low. So just be prepared for volatility. Bitcoin could even go back down and test $80,000 before it continues upwards. Now, the next major target for Bitcoin as far as chart analysis is about 120,000. And this is coming from analyst Crypto Wizard, who says, when it was unpopular, I called it. When it was unthinkable, I called it. From the bottom to the top, we've called and traded all of this plus 108.92% rally. Bitcoin is above $100,000, but my real target is 120,000, which is coming. And that could happen this month, guys. And based on his chart analysis, it is showing that it could happen this month. So be prepared. We are still very early in December. It's day number 5. So in the coming weeks, you could see Bitcoin really rally hard and altcoins follow. So make sure you have a cash out plan. Know where you're taking profits. I will definitely be taking profits at 120,000. I'm not selling all my Bitcoin, but I'll be cashing out in stages. And same thing with many altcoins as I hit my respective targets. So that goes for Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and so forth. Now, guys, we continue to see stablecoin liquidity is increasing. We have another billion USDT that was minted today. So we've been tracking this, guys, for months, right? And seeing the stablecoin tether dominance rise, and the amount of stablecoins being minted is in the billions over the past 3 weeks. It's definitely over 10 billion that's been minted. So this is not even including USDC and other stablecoins, but we know Tether is king of the hill when it comes to the stablecoin market. So this is a very good sign, means more liquidity is coming into this market. And whales, while they may mint the stablecoin, they'll take their positions accordingly, and then you'll see the markets move. Now, moving ahead, Gary Gensler gave his final speech as SEC chairman. This was shared by J.W. Verrett, who I've had on the podcast. He was there. He took a photo of it. And it looks like it was the American Business Association, if I'm not mistaken, but it was Gary's last speech. Goodbye, Gary. However, he has not quit his scumbag regulator activity. Check this out. Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderani, highlighted that instead of standing down and pausing crypto litigation with new leadership just weeks away, Genslers SEC filed an 81-page brief in the Binance case yesterday, recycling the same failed arguments, including the absurd and unsupported claim that crypto has no inherent value. So they continue with the lies, the hypocrisy, and much more. Attorney John Deaton weighed in saying, then maybe they should actually reread the Howey test, because this is what it literally states. If that test be satisfied, it is immaterial whether the enterprise is speculative or non-speculative, or whether there is a sale of property or without intrinsic value. Emphasis added, citing SEC versus Joyner. If I was a lawyer at the SEC, I would refuse to sign my name to such nonsense. So folks, this is what we've been dealing with under Gensler. They just make stuff up as they go. They lie. They're hypocrites, and they have no standards. They would break the law, and we saw that. They got sanctioned in the debt box case. In the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF case, they got called arbitrary and capricious. With the dealer rule, it just got shut down. They got called out on that. And in the SEC versus Ripple case, if you recall, Judge Sarah Netburn called out their hypocrisy on the Bill Hinman speech about Ethereum. So these guys are not operating in good faith, and this is why Gensler's got to go, and everyone's happy that Paul Atkins is coming in, and he's pro-crypto, he gets it, and of course, there's a pro-crypto government coming in. You got a pro-crypto president in Donald Trump. You have the most pro-crypto Congress coming into office. So things are looking up. But this guy, Gensler, he's not quitting until his last day. So Paul Grewal, chief legal officer, also weighed in saying yesterday the SEC filed 81 pages of arguments that secondary trading of BNB, that's the Binance Exchange token, and 10 other tokens triggers liability under Howey. But do they offer one word explaining how the same bogus logic somehow avoids Ethereum or Bitcoin? Nope, because they can't. He says, remarkable. Guys, this is why I started calling Gary Gensler a scumbag regulator. He's acting like a scumbag. Now, on the note of a pro-crypto government coming into office in January, Donald Trump today announced who his White House AI and crypto czar is going to be, and that is David Sachs. Many of you may know David Sachs from the All In podcast, but I've known David before the All In podcast because he was part of the PayPal mafia, guys. He was COO of PayPal back in the day, and he's also a big-time investor. So he founded Yammer, which was sold to Microsoft, and much more. He's been in the VC world as well. So I knew of him, and I got to know him a bit better through the All In podcast, which has Jason Calacanis and Chamath Palihapitiya, David Freeberg, and so forth. So this is a solid pick because David absolutely understands tech. He gets it. I mean, going back to PayPal, right? So Donald Trump says, I am pleased to announce that David Sachs will be the White House AI and crypto czar. In this important role, David will guide policy for the administration in artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency, two areas critical to the future of American competitiveness. David will focus on making America the clear global leader in both areas. He will safeguard free speech online and steer us away from big tech bias and censorship. He will work on legal framework so the crypto industry has the clarity it has been asking for and can thrive in the US. David will also lead the Presidential Council of Advisors for Science and Technology. Wow, guys. So this is what I'm talking about, a pro-crypto government coming into place. So Trump is positioning a lot of people who get technology, who are not anti-crypto, like Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler and her cronies. But the people coming in understand this technology. I believe David is invested in crypto. He has invested in Bitcoin and other things. So he gets it, guys. So bullish times are ahead, and this crypto asset class will continue to rise and grow in the United States. So this is definitely a big win. Folks, a great place you can buy crypto, Bitcoin, and altcoins is on Uphold. This is a platform I've been using since 2018. They make it easy to buy, sell, trade your crypto. They have 300 plus cryptocurrencies. They're available in over 150 countries. And guys, they support gold and precious metals where you can trade between crypto, gold, precious metals, and fiat currency. So no other platform allows that, where you can easily just swap between these assets. And best of all, folks, they are secure, they're safe, they're trustworthy, they are 100% reserved. They don't commingle or lend out your crypto funds. You can review their transparency reports. And they have a great feature called USD interest accounts where you can park your dry powder or your crypto profits and earn 4.65% APY. There are no lockups. You can pull your funds in and out at any point. There are no monthly fees, and it's FDIC insured, just like a bank. So if you'd like to learn more about Uphold, visit the link in the description. Now, guys, this is pretty big news. A Nasdaq-listed company plans to buy XRP and Bitcoin for its corporate treasury. So we've been seeing the growing trend of companies around the globe adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet as a reserve strategy to be a hedge against inflation and the debasement of currency. We saw companies were primarily adding Bitcoin, then some started adding Ethereum. This is the first company that is planning to add XRP. So you're seeing the expansion of this treasury reserve asset strategy. So pretty incredible. The name of the company is Worksport, a Nasdaq-listed manufacturer of covers for pickup trucks. And apparently the CEO, Stephen Rossi, has personally been invested in XRP for a while and is a strong believer of decentralization, he said in an interview. So the company announced that it will allocate 10% of its cash reserves, or a maximum of $5 million, into cryptocurrencies, but that ratio could change in the future. Folks, this trend will continue to grow because we know we live in a fiat debt-based system. We've talked a lot about it on this podcast. And the more money they keep printing and the basing the currency, the more global liquidity rises and assets rise with that global liquidity. But the assets, of course, many times are able to outperform the debasement and the inflation rate, right? But crypto and Bitcoin and crypto have been the fastest horse in the race, like Paul Tudor Jones said. So it moves faster and gives you greater returns than the Nasdaq, than real estate, than gold, and so forth. That's why these guys are looking to add these crypto assets to their balance sheet. It's not that they necessarily love these assets and, they love Bitcoin or XRP or so forth. They just see it as a fiduciary responsibility. They want to protect the cash on their balance sheet and have it outpace the debasement. So we know that in the current economic environment we're in, they're going to have to go back to money printing and inject stimulus and do all kinds of things. And that's going to drive global liquidity, but of course, debase the currency. So that is what's happening. And it's happening both for retail investors, institutional investors, and companies, right? Everybody's trying to outpace this debasement and inflation. So pretty amazing that XRP, this is the first time, once again, that XRP is being mentioned as a treasury reserve asset. Now, we got news here that Coinbase continues to see a lot of success with Base, which is their Ethereum scaling layer 2 solution. So Base reaches another all-time high with 8.8 million daily transactions on its network. So network fees hit a 3-month high of 766,000 on November 28th, reflecting increased demand for block space. So Base is getting a lot of adoption and is generating a ton of fees, which is really great for Coinbase's revenue and balance sheet, right? They're making a lot of money on this, a very smart move on their part, and they didn't launch a token. So obviously it's Ethereum based, so they're collecting fees there. But of course, Binance was the first exchange to pioneer this idea where they built the Binance Smart Chain. So Coinbase really took it though and made it a huge success. And look, they're in the United States where they're a public company. They need to find ways to grow their revenue because that impacts their stock price and so forth. But it's working out well for them, and they are building really great solutions to help people to launch applications and do a lot of great things. So I really like this. Now, final news item here: former Binance executive and now venture capitalist launches an ICO platform, BiddlePad. So this is interesting. I never thought I would hear the term ICO again, but I guess it's going to make a comeback. Apparently, they're doing it in a regulated way there. So Eric Zhang, a former Binance executive, now managing partner at Nomad Capital, has launched BiddlePad. BiddlePad is a new ICO platform available to KYC compliant users in non-restricted regions. So looks like they're doing it the right way here. Zhang said today that ICOs are a powerful way for founders to build engaged and loyal communities where everyone has a stake in the project's success. So I think he's right. ICOs were successful. The problem is they weren't regulated, so you had scammers come in and people do rug pulls. So I think if ICOs are done the right way, and this is where the SEC, at least here in the United States, they need to make the registration process easier and put together some sort of plan so these folks come in and say, hey, here's our plan, here's what we want to do, are we decentralized enough, and the SEC can make sure they're not trying to scam people and rug pull them, right? That's what we need that balance. You don't want to kill the innovation, but also you don't want people to get rug pulled. So I like what they're doing here, and they mentioned it's KYC, and they're looking to do it the right way. So this is what we want to see, guys, moving forward. Better platforms that are regulatory compliant, allow people to participate and protect consumers. So, guys, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Guys, a great way you can support me is by subscribing to my free email newsletter on Substack. It's 100% free. Link will be in the description. Also, grab a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto. Grab a few copies for your friends and family. Give them this book as a gift this holiday. Help them to learn about the asset class and the technology. It includes tips for investing. Help them not to get rug pulled and not to get scammed, right? They should understand what they're investing in. And if you bought a copy already, please leave a rating and review on Amazon. It will really help me out. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.